Hello there guys, welcome back to Blues Fans TV for another Premier League match preview as Chelsea are to take on Watford at Stamford Bridge tomorrow night on Saturday evening with the kickoff at 8 PM UK time. But before getting into that, before talking about any of that, I have to say a massive thank you to every single one of you that has subscribed, because a couple of days ago or yesterday we did actually hit our huge milestone of 100,000 subscribers, and a thank you goes out to every single one of you, whether you've been around for a while, whether you've subscribed within the last few weeks. Honestly, we massively appreciate it. But if you're new here, still make sure you subscribe. You know, the road to 200,000 subscribers starts right here. So if you're new here, please be sure to subscribe. And if you enjoy our content, are happy for us to reach 100,000 subscribers, or are just excited for the game tomorrow, make sure you drop a like on the video as well. That would be massively appreciated. But, you know, enough waffling. Let's talk about the game. And first of all, I mean, we dropped a huge 3 points against West Ham on Wednesday. Well, we need to look forward, shake off that result, and get back to winning ways. That's the only way, you know, we can move on from here, basically. I mean, third spot is still more than up for grabs. Yeah, we could have gone third already by beating West Ham, but because Leicester lost, you know, on Wednesday as well, we're still only 1 point behind them in third. And let's not forget, we are still ahead of Man United and Wolves. In theory, if we do win all of our remaining games, which, of course, in theory we can do, even though we have a lot of tough games, arguably the toughest games out of anyone, you know, we can still comfortably finish top 4. So everything is still to play for, so we can't let the heads drop. We need to just keep going. Look upwards and onwards, because, you know, that's just what we need to do. There is one fresh injury in the team, which I'll touch on a little bit later. But with that said, let's get into how I would personally line up against Watford, and also what team I believe Frank Lampard will pick tomorrow night. And, you know, as much as he mucked up for that first goal by West Ham, I didn't look great on the third goal either, in all honesty. Kepa still has to stay in goal for me. You know, I just don't think Caballero does any better. So we just need to stick with him, build his confidence, and hope that he gets better. And that's just, in my opinion, that's just what we have to do at this point. At centre-back, I would personally drop Antonio Rudiger. I think you can't have a performance like that, like he did against West Ham, and not get dropped. Even though Zuma and Christensen together hasn't exactly been the best partnership so far this season when that was used, and neither of them is exactly very vocal, and we might kind of miss that. So maybe I should keep Rudiger in for that part, unless Jorginho starts. But seeing as Tomori is still not fit, according to the boss in his press conference, I'd go for Christensen and Zuma, to be honest. I just don't think Rudiger, as much as he's vocal and everything, should start after that shocker. I don't think he should start it. I know Christensen wasn't great either, but Rudiger was just horrendous. And I'm not saying he should not play again, but I think he has to sit one out, because, I don't know, you can't reward, you know, performance like that by starting him again, in my opinion. You just can't do it. And he's not been good enough for the rest of the season that you can say, oh, let him off for one game. It really isn't like that. At right back, Azpilicueta remains for me. I don't think Reece James should come into the side at this point. But Alonso on the left back also has to be dropped, in my opinion. Not tracking back for the third goal is, to me, not surprising at all with him. Not surprising at all, even though for some reason it seems to be surprising to some pundits and some Chelsea fans, because for me it's one of the many reasons why I really don't like him. But also his attacking play has just been so useless. I mean, one awful cross after the other, one after the other, after the other, after the other. How many did he try last game? Like 15, and completed like 1, and all of the other ones were shocking. We might as well give Emerson a go. At least Emerson knows when to release the ball in possession when it's about normal passing, but neither of them can cross the ball. But at least Emerson has that on him and is a bit quicker. So, you know, I think we might as well give Emerson a go. Frankly, I just believe so. And then coming to midfield, I've actually now come to the conclusion that Jorginho is almost certainly going to leave in the summer anyway. And I also kind of come to the conclusion that I believe that Frank Lampard actually agrees with me that N'Golo Kante is not a very good lone DM yet. Because I think why he is playing him there right now is so Kante gets used to that position, learns to move more, make himself more available to be passed to more and stuff. So by the time we start next season, he's a genuine top player there because he's had time to play there. Because as much as some of you Kante fans, you know, might think that's wrong, he's never actually played as a lone DM in his career by one game, and then we got beat 3-0 by Arsenal. So, you know, that's certainly not his position. He needs to get used to it. I think he has the capability of playing there, even though I still think it cost him some of his best attributes with not being able to attack as much when defending, if that makes sense. So we need to figure out something there, but I still think he can be a brilliant lone DM, but he just isn't yet. But I think, like I said, Lampard is doing it, so by the time we get to next season, he actually is a very good lone DM. And if he's fine to start, even I would actually go for N'Golo Kante as the sole DM in my 4-3-3 formation. But mainly because I want to start 2 proper attacking number 8, and you cannot do that if Jorginho plays behind them. So first of all, Kovacic is injured anyway. That is that one fresh injury that I mentioned earlier. After he picked up a small Achilles injury that, according to Lampard in his press conference, will keep him out of tomorrow's game and possibly the next one as well. I would personally start Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Mason Mount ahead of Kante. I want 2 attacking aids. We're playing Watford. We're playing a team that's facing relegation, and we'll touch on them in a little bit, of course. Just go for it. Go for it and, stop this whining. And I will touch on Barkley in a little bit as well. But then coming to the wingers, well, I wouldn't change it at all, to be honest. If they're still fresh enough to start both of them, you have to start Pulisic on the left wing and Willian on the right wing. I mean, Pulisic has been so good, he simply needs to play. And Willian overall has been pretty good as well, let's be honest. Yeah, okay, his crossing was awful against West Ham, but he still scored a banger of a free kick and was decent overall, I thought. But I do hope that Callum Hudson-Odoi comes on during the game to get his first minutes since the break, as he does seem to be back, and of course was on the bench and was an unused sub against West Ham. But then coming to the striker, Tammy Abraham was absolutely shocking in midweek. Yes, I do believe that he just kind of needs a goal to kind of get back to his form and get back to find his confidence. But after that performance, you just have to go for Olivier Giroud up front. You just have to, because of how he links with Christian Pulisic, Mason Mount, and probably also Ruben Loftus-Cheek once they get a bit of a chemistry between each other as well. And to be honest, maybe at this point, Tammy Abraham will be the clear second choice striker for the rest of the season. Unless Giroud comes out with a shocker or needs rest, at the moment I don't see why you would start Tammy ahead of him in any game, really. Maybe there's 1 or 2 opponents where I'm like, okay, maybe Tammy makes a bit more sense here just because he has so much more pace. But Tammy he just seems overwhelmed with himself. He tries to do everything. He tries to take on everybody. He tries to find the perfect pass. He tries to do that step over for Pulisic's chance against West Ham, which was the only good thing Tammy did all of that game, really, because he did that really well, fair play to him. And he tries to score, and he just tries to do everything, and he's just trying way too much, and it's just really not working. And maybe it is because, obviously, we've signed Timo Werner, who knows? But it's just not working at the moment, so you have to pick Olivier Giroud up front if you ask me. But that, like I said, this is my team that I would go for tomorrow night against Watford. And now on this side, you will in a minute see the team that I think Frank Lampard will pick. And I don't actually think it will be all that different. Just a little bit. I personally doubt that he will drop Kepa. But I also don't think he will drop Antonio Rudiger like I personally would. But I do believe that Zuma will come in for Andreas Christensen. He knows that the combination of the two against West Ham was just shocking, so he will bring Zuma in. Also against Troy Deeney, might be quite helpful, like it would have been quite helpful against Mikel Antonio. Azpilicueta stays at right back, also for Frank, I'm pretty sure. And to be honest, especially with the reports about Emerson to Inter, even if Lampard says he knows nothing about him in his press conference, I actually think Alonso, annoyingly to me, starts again. But I do believe that the boss will actually go for the exact same midfield that I personally would pick. I don't really see him using Jorginho, to be honest, or Billy Gilmore, quite frankly. Kovacic is injured, like I said, and I don't think Barkley's performance on Wednesday warrants another start. So I think he will go for Kante as the DM, Ruben, and then Mason Mount, and try to go for those 2 attacking number 8s. Why not? Just go for it. Go a bit more all out from the get-go. Why the hell not? And to be honest, also up front for the wingers and the striker, I think Lampard will pick the same thing that I would pick. I mean, to be honest, those 3 kind of pick themselves at the moment. Giroud also because Tammy has done so badly. But Pulisic, just because he's been playing so well, definitely by far our best player since the break. And Willian has also done well. Scored 3 goals. Was it 4? Scored a fair few goals as well, even though 2 was from the penalty spot. Still, done all right. And I was happy with it. Even assisted the winner against Leicester. So, it's all right. It's all right. So that's the team I think Lampard will pick. But coming to the game from a bit more of a tactical perspective, and someone said it in the comments of the last preview, actually, I don't always need to say that, we need to pass the ball quickly and be more clinical. Because the players are trying. And I'm like, yeah, they might be trying, but they're certainly not doing it. And it is very, very important. It is one of the most important things, alongside getting rid of those individual errors that constantly lead to goals, but actually individual errors all at the same time. Like, all of the players seem to commit individual errors all at once. Rudiger giving away that corner, Tammy giving away that corner, Aspi against Souček. Why is he even marking Souček, then Kepa, then Tammy on the goal line? Like, why are we doing that? For the 3rd goal we conceded, Alonso not tracking back, Rudiger not knowing that Yarmolenko is left-footed, Kante being way too high up the pitch, in my opinion. Genuinely very weird because it was a corner and Christensen and Rudiger weren't in the box. Very dodgy when you're trying to get a win, in my opinion. So basically individual errors, but all at the same time, so it looks like a collective shit show. That's what it looks like when we start defending, especially set pieces, and it's so depressing. As well as whoever plays the left back, knowing that just because their job is to basically cover the entire left wide attacking, because of how central and narrow Pulisic seems to play as kind of an almost second striker on kind of left number 10. That left back needs to know that they still have to defend and track back like their life depends on it, regardless of whether it's the 1st or the 93rd minute, unlike Marcos Alonso did against bloody West Ham. And also, we've got a Kante, hopefully, getting more movement off the ball, but in getting, I guess, wrong word, starting more movement off the ball, but also in Chelsea possession. Do you know what I mean? We're in possession, but he isn't in possession. He needs to move around so people can pass to him, because it's so vital to us having a somewhat decent build-up play. Otherwise he really shouldn't be playing there, even though I put him in that in that position in my personal lineup as well. And I would love to say cross the ball better and also as well improve set piece defending, but probably not going to happen. So we're just going to have to make do with what we get. Press, try to pass it quickly, like I said, be clinical with the chances we will create, because I'm confident that we will create some sort of chances. And then from that point, you just need to be a bit more solid defensively, and then we will get the 3 points. We're not a bad footballing team by any means. We have some very, very good players. But some things are always messing us up, especially when other teams around us drop points and we could really make huge gains on everybody and secure top 4 even more so, especially then, is always when we drop points. But yeah, enough about that. Let's get to Watford quite quickly. Watford are 17th, a bit like West Ham were before the last game, on 28 points. 1 point above the relegation zone, where Villa and Bournemouth are still level in 18th and 19th. But let's hope them being 17th like West Ham were is not a sign for what's to come, because I cannot handle another game like that. Honestly, I cannot handle it. Since the break, Watford have played 3 games. A 1-1 draw with Leicester as the first game back, in which they scored a 93rd minute equaliser after Leicester took the lead just 3 minutes earlier. And then a 1-0 loss to Burnley and a 3-1 defeat against Southampton last Sunday, being the worst of the 2 teams in both of those games, in all honesty. Under Nigel Pearson, who's of course their manager, they're another team that pretty much always lines up in a 4-2-3-1 formation that very often shifts into a 4-5-1 against opponents like ourselves that are just significantly better than them and will have the majority of possession. So it will again be about us breaking them down, and ideally without conceding a stupid goal ourselves in the process, because that clearly has been our biggest issues. But hey, at least Watford have only scored 3 goals from set pieces so far this season, not including penalties. So maybe and hopefully they're bad enough at them offensively that our defending of them set pieces won't be punished. Just on the injuries quickly, Gerard Deulofeu, as well as Yamat and Isaac Success are all injured, but they do still have dangerous players. Troy Deeney, I mentioned him already, is always a handful. He's so strong, and he's just, like I said, a handful to play against. So hence why one of the reasons why I would like to go for Kurt Zouma, even though you could argue Kurt Zouma instead of Christensen for that reason, but Rudiger was just too bad. Touched on it already, just can't play in my opinion. They also have Pereira, Doucouré, Sarr, and all of them are really good players, and we need to look out for them. And just because they're 17th doesn't mean they're, a bottle job of a team. They're really not. Coming to my score prediction, weirdly, it doesn't change from the West Ham game, even though that really backfired. I still feel like that 3-1 win is coming, and I feel like it has to come, and I still feel like that's the most likely result. And I'm just begging that we only concede once we're 2 or 3-0 up, because before that, against a team that's fighting for their lives against relegation, of course, that's the worst thing you can do, is giving them hope by allowing them to take the lead or to get an equaliser, because that pushes them so much. Well, it gives us a bit of a downer, but it pushes them so much because they're fighting for their lives that makes everything more difficult. If you get a quick 1-2-0, you just kill them off already, and then you get a third, then they're done, and then it's dusted. And then if anything, they might actually go to save energy to, keep fighting against relegation in their other games and be more fresh for those games. So, that's how I look at it. Like I said, my score prediction is a 3-1 victory. Hopefully, I'm going to be, correct, and we get the W. That would be really brilliant. But yeah, guys, that's really been it from me. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Like I said in the beginning, thank you massively for helping us reach 100,000 subscribers. But if you're still new here, make sure you subscribe to Blues Fans TV, because the road to 200,000 subscribers starts here. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video and leave me your thoughts ahead of the game down in the comment section below, whether it's your predicted lineups, your score predictions, and also any thoughts on anything that I said. Leave all of it down in the comment section below. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. Very excited for the game tomorrow, and I'll see you when I see you.